Just so you know, yes, the individual that wrote in the Rotarian newsletter, yeah. Mike Van Proyen speaks to the club about water wells sponsored by our committee International Service. Yes. They also wrote Mike receives moral support from his wife Marilyn and their adopted daughter from Haiti. Now, it seems harmless enough, except you're buying and selling children. You bought and sold the identity of Legina. And then you bought and sold, yes, Marilyn Van Proyen. Poop. Somebody thought that since Mike was so special that he could buy himself a wife, yes, and then he could use her vagina without her knowledge, yes. But just because you marry somebody doesn't mean that you get to use their genetics without their knowledge. You don't get to use my sperm to make little boys and girls in the wombs of other women, yes, without my knowledge. That would be raping the women that you used, and then the buying and selling of the children that were birthed. Poop. I'm in no hurry. Now, just looking at this court order, yes, Sheriff, 81,000, right, $81,615.06. Yes, it is not in the public's interest, yes, to inform the public that somebody owes back child support of any amount, yes, and then it puts it in the false light of the individual that they were not paying child support. They did not get notice of court hearings, tort lawsuit. Class action tort lawsuit, full faith and credit of the United States Constitution and each and every state, territory, and possession of the United States, inclusive of the United States Treasury. Now, for those that are employees, okay, that didn't want to use the authority of the United States fucking Treasury, it is a false light. To say that, well, he's a deadbeat dad that's homeless because he made his own decisions and he didn't want to pay it. When at the same time, I'm the legal father, yes, and you are obligated right now. You know, let's see here. Federal Kidnapping Act, a federal law punishing kidnapping for ransom or reward when the victim is transported interstate or internationally. Yes. Now, the reward to my wife for not making sure that I had. Did you think that the $150,000 of child support would not be considered rewarding her? Yes. For making sure that I didn't have notice of court hearings? Yes. For making sure that you thought you had jurisdiction when you didn't? See, my sons are being held for ransom or reward. Yes, they are. Every person I talked to for the last 7 years and 9 months said I had to give my wife some money, as in I had to pay her, yes, a ransom or reward, yes, for her making sure that I didn't get notice of court hearings. Now, this defines kidnapping. Yes, it does. When you issue court orders right now, you're wanting me to pay a ransom or reward known as a child support order. Where you want me to reward my wife, yes, for making sure that I didn't get notice of court hearings, yes, and you want me to reward her, yes, for making sure that you didn't enforce the law, yes, you didn't contempt her of court. No, no, no. I did respond. You're rewarding her for having me arrested 4 days after she motioned the court for dissolution of marriage. You're giving rewards to her from me for your crime. You want me to pay this? Do you want me to pay this? You you want me to reward my wife? You want me to pay a ransom for a minute order that you issued, Brent? Yes. A week after she filed for dissolution of marriage? Yes. Where you arrested me and you served me at the same time. Judge Rohrer wants me to pay a reward to my wife right now. The Federal Kidnapping Act, yes, punishing kidnapping for ransom or reward when the victim is transported to Brennan, Washington, to Quilcene, Washington right now. Now, the law presumes that the victim has been transported in violation of the law if the victim is not released within 24 hours. Yeah. Now, the Federal Kidnapping Act, by express provision, yes, does not apply to the kidnapping of a minor by either parent. Oh, well, let's see here. The law. Oh, well, is there any provisions of the Kidnapping Act? Sheriff, I want to ask you something. For 8 years, you thought I was going to pay child support to a woman that kidnapped my sons. Now, how the fuck is it that your office thought that? You wanted me to reward my wife for abducting my sons? Yes. Having you issue court orders that violate rules, regulations, and the requirements of the law? Yes. Rules, requirements, and rights. Pooch. And then you're refusing to acknowledge kidnapping. Oh, now the Parental Kidnapping Prevention Act. Oh. 18 U.S. Code. The Federal Kidnapping Act was passed in 1932. Oh, to close a dangerous loophole between state and federal law. Now, just so I know, okay, Sheriff, what the fuck do you want? You're gonna kick my ass. You want me to pay a ransom to have custody of my own sons, right? When you didn't give me any notice of court hearing,